What's up, San Antonio? What's up, South Texas? This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from San Antonio, Texas. We're going to have that intro all over again. Fernandez, here's the thing, man. Typically, we have a 2.5-minute intro, a warm-up to let people in. No one's on right now because for some reason, the intro music is not working, right? So typically, 10 o'clock. So we're going to let this slide for a little while to let people on now for the first couple of minutes. How you doing, man?
Good, bro. Good. How are you, brother?
Oh, I'm doing all right, man. I'm exhausted, man. I'm exhausted. That trip from
trip?
Lake Charles to San Antonio, that drive is no joke, man. No joke. But we have some people finally coming on in. Got Sam Salinas, Mario Cavazos, David Otwater. Good morning, gentlemen. It is Monday. Again, we had some technical difficulties because the fact of the matter is I don't know how any of this works. Joe Garcia in the
man behind the magic.
In the basement, as they say back in the day. Joe Garcia is doing training for the Department of Homeland Security. Going to start his job in a few weeks. He's in 3 weeks of the training. This is week number 2. So I'm trying to get this done at home. It's a little bit difficult, but I do appreciate having Rick Fernandez with us, United States Marine Corps retired. Got other guests coming on. Tomorrow, we're going to have Jack Thompson. I sparred with him on Locked On Spurs the other day. He was also a part of San Antonio Sports Star when I was there. We're going to be on Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm going to try to have Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. Thursday, John Dyer from Spurs and Salsa. And then it looks like Friday, I'm going to extend the invite to Rick over here because I love talking sports with you, man. It's good times. But we have a lot to get into today, man. And like I said, we're just warming the thing up a little bit because we see more and more people are jumping on the podcast. Typically, there's a 2 or 3 minute intro. I don't know why the intro didn't start. It just didn't. I just turned on my computer and made it happen, man. But you are outside, man. What are your plans today?
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm outside enjoying this beautiful SoCal weather. I'm chilling, man. I'm relaxing. I got a couple of VA appointments and stuff, getting all that squared away for that military retirement. But yeah, man, I'm not too much, man. Just kind of taking it easy.
Got to get that money, baby. Got to get that money,
Hey, you ain't lying, bro. After 20 years,
disability, baby. Up with disability. You know how that works.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. And it's crazy because it's a big thing, with military folks, and whether you did 4 years or 20 years or whatnot. Some people think it's nothing that's handed to you. You earned all that stuff, So, the wear and tear you put on your body and your mind, from military service. So I implore anybody that's out there serving or is new to the service, like, hey, make sure you document all that stuff, because it's important.
You earn it, man. That's the thing. You deserve it. You earn it. Drew Show coming out and saying 3rd time's the charm, right, Jimenez? Again, Joe has set it up where I just push buttons. I push a button that says YouTube, Facebook, start. And I type in the name. By the way, this is episode 199 of our show. So tomorrow we're celebrating episode 200. We got going last summer, but then I took a quick hiatus because of a divorce that I'm going through and whatnot. We kickstarted this back up in January. Right now, Rick, we're the only morning podcast doing it Monday through Friday here in San Antonio. Our good friends over in the building, Rudy J, Mike Taylor, they've moved their podcast to the evenings, and that's badass. They're incredible at what they do. We're friends with them. They're friends with us. But really, I'm excited about this, Rick, because when football season starts, college football is going to get going in a couple of weeks. NFL is going to get going in a few weeks. NBA. There is no local radio from 10 to 2. And now the big gorilla in the room, which was in the building because, Mike Taylor's been around for so long and has had his channel on for so long, is now moving to the evenings, which opens up an opportunity for us. And I think they're going to do a fantastic job because they're on at a time where local radio also goes off the air when they're on 6 p.m., 7 p.m. I know Extra Innings with Pleasure is on at 6 p.m. Monday to Friday on San Antonio Sports Star. But behind that, 7 o'clock and beyond, there's no local radio. We go to national broadcasting at that time. So between 10 and 11:30, we're going to be doing this show. Joe Garcia will be back in a couple of weeks, but I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the opportunity. What's it called? Mario Cavazos says, Mike, we can see you putting in the work. A possible replacement, if you know, you know. I didn't know what he was going at there, but I kind of get what that's going. Dude, I was playing slot machines all weekend, man. Slot machines.
How was it?
I'm not a slots guy, dude. But
Yeah. How'd it go?
They not bad. I won a few $100, like $200, like 2 or 3 times, and it kind of just kept my money in my pocket. I never went to the ATM. I only took a little bit of money because I was like, I want to see how far this goes, right? I had in my mind I will spend this much if need be, but I just took a few $100, and it kept me going the entire weekend, man. So it was win some, lose some, but it wasn't bad. Had fun out there. Had a really scary moment at the end because I'm cleaning out the hotel room and I found that a past guest had left something behind. Let's just say it's cochino, man. Cochino. I'll tell you off air what it was, man, but that was insane. Joined by Rick Fernandez, retired United States Marine Corps. We're going to now start the show in earnest now. We're going to get things going. We got to talk about the Cowboys, man. Trey Lance out there for 3.5 quarters. Cowboys lose at the last second. Steph Curry just goes off. You know, the word epic is not even good enough for what that was in the gold medal game. Wemby, they were 3 points down with 3 minutes to go. They were almost there. We're going to get into that. We'll do some pop culture, nostalgic things as well, but joined by Rick Fernandez, retired United States Marine Corps. You know him as the real Fernandez on Twitter, Spurs Twitter. He carries the cups wherever he goes. Are you drinking right now?
No, not right now, man. I got a monster, man. It's 8 a.m. over here.
And real fast, we got a $5 super chat from the Drew Show. Thank you so much. Get that 100 ratings, Fernandez. Double dip of that retirement Marine. Get that Fed job and triple dip. Retire, collect 3 checks for life.
He already knows. Drew Show knows. Drew Show just laid out my plan right there. You already know.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. That is what I'm talking about. So last night, hey, thank you so much, Drew Show, for that. And thank you so much for your support over the years, man. Not only here, but in past endeavors I've had. Drew Show, you're legit, man. Appreciate that. Last night, Cowboys, Rams, SoFi. Cowboys they had joint practices together. The Rams and Cowboys do that because the Cowboys practice in Oxnard, California, which is just outside of LA, and they battle each other. Cowboys going out there, and Cooper Rush sees the field at first, and I'm like, wait a minute, shouldn't this be Trey Lance? But what unfolds is we see Trey Lance go out there and play for 3.5 quarters. I have a poll on Twitter at MJ Acquired Taste asking a very simple question: give the dude a letter grade, A, B, C, or a failing grade, which is a D or an F. And we're going to update that poll. Cowboys lose at the last second. Touchdown with like 4 seconds to go. They lose 13-12. Stetson Bennett, the quarterback, formerly, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the Georgia Bulldog, Stetson Bennett, goes out there and just throws pick after pick after pick. If you're going to take a look at it, there's 4 of them. But the fact of the matter is that the 5th one got called back because of a penalty. It should have been 5. It should have ended the game. So there's some positives and some negatives of what the Cowboys did yesterday. But overall, Trey Lance yesterday, here are his stats. Oh, I'm looking for his stats. What I liked about Trey Lance yesterday, here's what I liked. He was 25 for 41, 188 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Got sacked 3 times, but he moved his legs. Got 3 first downs by extending the play. 6 rushes, 44 yards. Again, no interceptions, no touchdowns. They lose 13-12. If I were to ask you, Fernandez, give Trey Lance a letter grade for what he did in the preseason yesterday, what would you give him?
You know, and again, just like Mario Cavazza said, it's preseason. You're talking about preseason. He giving me those Allen Iverson vibes. We're talking about practice. I agree. You know, when he's moving his legs, man, he was pretty dangerous. There's times where I was watching that. I remember there was a play where they went for it on 4th down and they were in the red zone. They were like 2 yards away or a yard, and I was like, man, just Trey, use your legs and get in. And then he threw it, and it was an incompletion, and it was a turnover on downs. I mean, I think, you know, again, a play caller should be calling more runs for him. But he didn't do bad. He really didn't. I mean, it would have been nice to get into the freaking end zone. But I would say, you know, somewhere in the like C+, B- range. Because again, he didn't make, you know, mistakes. He didn't throw interceptions. He kind of managed what he could. You know, the defense with all the picks. And you know, I don't know if it was just that quarterback was just that bad, or because I mean they weren't like crazy plays on the defense. Some of them were like right to the guy to the defender. Like no, really, like
he was playing catch for the linebackers.
It was like when you back in the day, you like somebody picks an all-time quarterback, but I'm boys with you, so like I'm gonna hook my guys up, but it was just, man, and it was a 3-point shootout, right? It was threes and threes and threes, and it looked like that's where it was gonna go down, and then of course in Cowboys fashion, man, they give up that touchdown at the very end, you know. But all in all, I think Trey Lance, didn't do horrible. He really didn't. They kept talking about how he didn't really play a lot in college. He really hasn't. I know this is like, what is it, third year?
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't played a lot, and all that. I mean, again, this is going to be I think this is going to be a interesting season for him, even if he's, obviously he's going to be a backup. But I'm saying, like, to show, like, hey, are you an NFL player? Can you do this, right? Kind of thing. So again, I think with his legs and his mobility, he can be a little bit dangerous. Hey, why not bring him out on a wildcat or some different kind of schemes to kind of throw people off, especially if Dak is in question of is he going to leave after this year? Why not? Why not do stuff like that? Is what I say. But
well, Dak Prescott was out there on the sidelines. He wasn't dressed up. He wasn't going to play. We know that Dak doesn't play preseason. Dak is going out there without a deal. He has yet to be extended. He can be an unrestricted free agent at the end of this season if he chooses to go that route. Cowboys have not signed him. There was no CD Lamb. CD Lamb is still holding out, being penalized monetarily every day that goes by. Micah Parsons also without a deal. So it's kind of a weird situation going on out there. If I had to give a letter grade, I like where your head's at, saying C+, B-. I'm going to give him a solid B-. I liked a little bit of what I saw. Again, Cooper Rush played the first series, and then they brought in Trey Lance midway through the first quarter. Come on, man. If he was playing with real receivers, they would have won that game. They would have won that game. Second quarter, you mentioned the fourth down play where it was an incomplete pass that ended the drive inside the 5-yard line. The fact of the matter is that third down play, he threw a perfect pass down to the sidelines, and the receiver did not extend for a first down. Just stick the ball out or dive towards the sticks. He missed it by half a yard, and because of that, it forced a fourth down. In the third quarter, there was a drive where they moved down the field, settled for a field goal, but it was a drop pass, just straight into the arms of the player. It was like a fullback. They just dropped it. Now, what I didn't like about Trey Lance yesterday was he kept on looking at Luke Schoonmaker the entire time. Like the first couple of drives, he found one receiver and was just fixated with that tight end, just fixated with him. And it wasn't probably until the second quarter, somewhere midway through the second quarter, that he appeared to have his head on straight. There was a great stat that was presented during the game, which was there were 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round this year. 6. And he's younger. Trey Lance is younger than 2 of them, younger than Bo Nix and Michael Penix, right? So he's still a young guy. He didn't get a lot of play, didn't get a lot of run over at North Dakota State. He had a great year and good enough to be drafted in the top part of the first round back in the day. But I saw a little bit of his legs. It was nice to see him avoid the tackle, avoid the sack, make his way out and squeak out. That's something that we see a lot with Dak Prescott that he's been able to do for so long. But you see how raw Trey Lance is. He's a raw player still. And I don't know if he's ever going to be so mature enough to do what he needs to do as a quarterback. If the Cowboys do play him ultimately long-term, that's a long-term play where you hope that he develops over time because he needs reps. He got 3.5 quarters worth of reps yesterday. Cowboys against Stetson Bennett, former Georgia standout, got picked off 4 times. But as you mentioned, they were not necessarily because of great coverage. It was bad throws the entire time. Cowboys lose 13-12. No Zeke Elliott, no CeeDee Lamb, no Dak Prescott. This was a game for degenerate gamblers. But Cowboy fans have to positives take away from this. One was the fact that they would bend but not break. The big news coming out of last night's game, besides the fact that it was a last-second loss, was a Chuma Edoga, who has started at left tackle, goes out with an injury. And according to Todd Archer, who's a journalist in the DFW area, says Chuma Edoga will have an MRI for the toe injury he suffered in the first quarter. Some concern initially. Tyler Guyton, who was a first-round draft pick of the Cowboys, seemed to handle his work on left tackle well on Sunday. The rookie will be asked to do more. So imagine that. Imagine having a quarterback on take the field without an extension. Imagine no CD Lamb. We saw Tyron Smith go on, and Cowboy Legend's going to on a different team now. Now you're seeing a rookie come in, and Tyler Guyton being asked to come in and possibly even start. This is the makings right now of a very questionable season for the Dallas Cowboys. So much so that on Friday I challenged people. I think you took the challenge where I said this team ain't going to win 9 games or more. And it's looking more and more like they're thin in certain positions. And if Udoka goes down, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, man, it's interesting, and it's like you said, there's just so much chaos, and there's so much going on with the contracts and who's there, who's not. The rookie, like you said, asking a rookie that's a lot, man. It's a lot to ask somebody. Mike McCarthy is out the door. It reminds me of the Moneyball where the manager's like, hey, why don't you discuss my contract? And Brad Pitt's like, if somebody hits a grounder to first base, we got no one to stop it right now,
Yeah.
And so and he's like, I can't work under a cloud of a 1-year so just all those intricacies are gonna play out, man. It's gonna play out in this season. Again, I'm kind of maybe psyching myself up and hoping that since there's not a lot of pressure or not a lot of this is our year kind of thing, maybe it ends up flipping the script where the Cowboys do a lot better. They do a lot better without all that pressure. I don't know, But,
bad news bear style, right? Bad news bear style.
Exactly.
No one's looking. Just come out.
Major league.
Win.
Major league, baby. Major league, man. One of
Every
my favorite
time we
movies,
get a
man.
win, we peel a section.
Exactly. Hey, exactly, man. I love it. So, again, that's that's the hope. But realistically, man, this is gonna be it could be a turning year. Like we could see a lot of changes next year. You know what I mean? This season is gonna be kind of interesting to watch, man. But yeah, man. The Rams had a Longhorn rookie out there at receiver. He was playing well.
Jordan Whittingham.
There you go. Yep. Yeah, man.
74 yards, including a 30-yarder. The rushing game wasn't going so hot for the Cowboys yesterday, aside from Trey Lance going for 6 carries for 44 yards. Malik Davis only had 18 yards on 8 carries. Rico Dowdle, decent, 14 yards on 3 carries. We are seeing a bunch of players who are not going to make the team on the field. So you can't take a lot out of it.
True.
The only one that really need to is Trey Lance, though, because Trey Lance, we don't know what Cowboy fans have with him. Okay.
Yeah.
Most Cowboy fans right now are in the situation. I hate to say most because I think right now, if I took a poll, I think more than half of Cowboy fans don't want to pay Dak $60 million. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, the alternative is being a 3, 4, 5 win team because that's who you are when you have Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. And the Cowboys are relevant 10, 11, 12 win team when they have all their guys in front of them. But we know Dak isn't the guy. We know. But can Cowboy fans stomach? It reminds me of, we are Spurs fans, right? And we talk about the fact that the Spurs should have just bottomed out once Kawhi left. But instead, we were prideful and said, no, we can keep winning. We just got to retool around Aldridge. We got to retool around DeMar. Got to retool. We've got DeJounte. We got, Spurs fans did that. Cowboy fans need to understand it's a race to the top or a race to the bottom. The worst place to be is in the middle. And it's hard to say that the Cowboys are in the middle because they keep winning 12 games. Middle teams don't win 12 games. It's just that the schedule that they play, the division that they're in is kind of weak. And I think that 12-win total is inflated. If they played in the AFC South, if they played in the AFC East, that's a 10-win team. It's a 9-win team. They have the benefit of playing the Giants twice or an inept team. They have the benefit of playing the Commanders, who absolutely suck for the past decade. So it makes it a little bit easier for the Cowboys to maneuver through. But I'm looking around the landscape of the NFC. The 49ers are still the class. We see the Packers are getting better. The Lions were so close to making it to the top of the mountain last year. The Bears have set up their new quarterback for success. The Eagles got Saquon and a healthy Jalen Hurts, right? No, They're going to need help at center, but still, they're a better team. Cowboys right now got to do something. They have to truly go all in, or just retool and change and just bottom out. But Jerry Jones is in his early 80s. He's not going to want to wait 5, 6, 7 years. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine him being GM at 88, 89? But man, if I was to ask you this though, Cowboys ceiling, all things go right, are they really a Super Bowl contending team?
No, man, come on. Like again, man, I love my Cowboys, man, and people want to accuse people of being homers and unrealistic, whatever. I'm a realistic dude, man. Super Bowl, come on, man. Like you said, bro, I would have, I would have been happy last year had they, at least won that home game against the Packers. And you lose to the Niners or something like that in a tight one. Like that's I mean, you can't ask for more than something like that. You know what I mean? So Super Bowl, and man, that's even everything goes right this year. That would be pretty far fetched, to be honest with you. I'm like, man, if they make the playoffs, that'd be a more than a lot of people expected. So I guess again it goes back to expectation management. You win. You should win at home against Green Bay, right? Last year, you should win that. And not winning that is what's really heartbreaking. You win that, you go on the road and lose to another, the Niners or whoever. Again, you're kind of, hey, that's as much as you want to say like, oh man, we're Cowboys fans, we're all in for the Super Bowl. You know what realistically it is. But the heartbreaker is losing a game at home that you should win. And again, again with Trey, the kid's talented. I mean, again, I look at this like just like those draft picks in the NBA that they look talented, they look the part, and all that. So it's like it's high risk, high reward, in my opinion. It's like, the kid looks like he has talent. He's a good size. He really hasn't gotten to play a lot. Maybe he does surprise people, right? Or it just goes, horrible. Like the kid just loses confidence. But like you said, I would be interested to see him with the full squad, with the when you have, like you said, the running game wasn't on yesterday, so no one had to worry about that. If you had the running game on, if you had your receivers, like you said, doing the little things like inching forward or whatever, you're looking at a different game, and maybe Trey's more comfortable to run and do different things. So I'm not sitting here saying Trey Lance is the next great Cowboy quarterback, but give the kid a shot. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, he on talent level, or at least he looks like he's talented. Like you said, he's raw.
You can't teach height. You can't teach height. He's 6'4", 225.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Big dude out there.
Big dude. He's a big dude. He's a big quarterback. So when he, I think if he was more comfortable, maybe he would, see, be able to see the reads out there and all that kind of stuff. Again, it's hard to say, like you said, they're playing with practice squad guys, so right. It's, I think I remember when I heard that they got him for pretty much nothing, and I was like, hey, I mean, a former number 3 pick or guys like that have something about them, you know what I mean, that are just like, they have some moxie to say like, man, I'm a pretty high draft pick, and sometimes they don't pan out. I got it. We all know that. I would say shoot for the fences and see, I mean, I don't know. Well, why not?
Right. Now we're talking about Trey Lance, who, by the way, is younger than 2 quarterbacks who were taken in the first round this year. Trey Lance drafted number 3 overall, first round, back in 2021, and is still younger than 2 of the top quarterbacks in this year's draft. Got drafted by the 49ers. 2-time FCS champion, was a FCS championship game MVP in 2020. Walter Payton Award winner in 2019, Jerry Rice Award winner in 2019. So he has it's one of those things where he had success in the level that he was in, but he wasn't playing for a Power 5 team. Right. He wasn't playing for a UT or an OU. He wasn't playing for a Georgia or a Bama or an LSU. He was playing at North Dakota State. And I know that there are some quarterbacks that go and play that route who have done very well in the NFL. You can look at a bunch of quarterbacks who've had success in just small teams, We saw Tony Romo for the Cowboys, for example. Was he Eastern Illinois? He goes out there and he balls out for a decade for the team. But Trey Lance, you can't teach size. He's 6'4", 225. Some of the best plays he had yesterday were incomplete passes. He threw the ball away. He didn't try to force certain plays. And if it was incomplete, he was going for it. He was making it so that only the receiver could catch it. Now, Sam Salinas is calling me out saying, hey, Mike, hold on. You just said the Cowboys are going to win just 3 or 4 games, but Lance would have won with starters. Yes, he would have won with starters, but the other team would have been playing their starters too on defense. So that would have made it differently. But that play in the second quarter, I was like, why didn't he jump for the sticks? What was that all about? He had no pressure on him. He just went out of bounds. And that's a player right there who's going to get the red card in his locker today because he didn't extend for the sticks.
Yeah, those are the differences between, and again, no disrespect to guys that are out there practice squad. It's just like the summer league and all that. These dudes are great, talented players, but it just shows how difficult and the different levels there is to sports. And yeah, those are the kind of things that a guy on a practice squad ain't doing that a guy that is making the team is doing. Those the little things, like you said, just the wherewithal to know where am I on the field, can I stretch out, get a first down, all that kind of stuff. Like you said, that's the difference.
Mexican Jr. coming out saying Trey Lance looked horrible, terrible at quarterback yesterday, but he's the best running back on the team right now. Tony Ornella saying, I'm a realistic Cowboys fan. There was a chance last season. No running game this year. They'll be 6-11. I'm hoping for no wins. Jerry is a jerk. Sid's coming out saying, it's our year, baby. We're making the playoffs.
You know what? I was watching the game yesterday. I forgot that Garoppolo is backing up Stafford, in LA. That's pretty wild, a guy like Garoppolo could be our starting quarterback. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I think this season there's a lot of changes, a lot of big moving parts, players in different teams. So I was talking to
Mexican Jr. bringing up a really good point. The Cowboys didn't get Trey Lance for free. They had to give up a draft pick for him. Mm-hmm. And Mexican Jr. coming out on our YouTube stream saying, I wouldn't consider a 4th round pick nothing. The 4th rounder last year could have been a decent running back selection in the past draft. Right now, we have theoretically the worst backfield in the NFL. Let's talk about that. Do the Cowboys have the worst backfield in the NFL? We have Zeke Elliott, maybe Malik Davis, Rico Dowdle. Was it Kevontae Turpin, maybe? Mm-hmm. That's not top tier.
It's not top. I don't know if it's the worst in the whole league. It might be in the area. Might be in the area, but and that's what's tough. That's the running game is what takes the pressure off. The quarterback and all that other stuff. If the other team doesn't have to worry about your running game, that's when you start seeing the pressure on the quarterback and the mistakes and all that kind of stuff. Like you ain't fooling nobody. Your play actions don't mean nothing.
Here's Zeke Elliott's yards per carry. Okay, here's the stat line here. When he was a rookie back in 2016, Zeke Elliott was amazing. I know Dak won Rookie of the Year that year. Shouldn't have been Dak. That was Zeke's award. Should have been given to him. He had 1,631 yards rushing, 5.1 yards per carry. Now, to me, if you're above 4.2, 4.3, you're doing a really good job. 5.1. 2018, it dropped to 4.7. 2019, 4.5 yards per carry. Still over 1,300 yards, but still a good running back, but getting a little bit lower and lower, right? Productivity-wise. 2021 drops to 4.2 yards per carry, barely got over 1,000 yards rushing. 2022, under 1,000 yards rushing, 3.8. Last year, his only season with New England, only season away from Dallas, 3.5 yards per carry and 3 touchdowns. The trend line is showing that he was a phenomenal player at the age of 23, 24. An amazing player. But now he's at 30. He ain't it, man. So is Rico Dowdle the who we're going to pin the hopes on?
Man, yeah, it's tough. I mean, yeah, you're right. Like you said, people are hoping that somehow Zeke rekindles some of that magic, But like you said, you see the steady decline, man. You see what it is, which is it's kind of heartbreaking because how amazing he started off. Like, man, it was like, wow, this is, he was a phenom, when he first bursted on the scene, right? And like you said, he should have won Rookie of the Year. And it just, hey man, it goes fast, man. Things are fleeting in life, and especially in sports. Like it goes so fast, man. You got such a small window to maximize your talents, right? Whether it's NFL, NBA, any of these sports, it's just wild to see that, and then sometimes maybe again, I'm accused of being too positive sometimes, but on the flip side of that is he's done it before. Sometimes these guys dig down. We've seen it a lot. We've seen players, that everybody wrote off. Everybody was like, "You're done." Like Baker Mayfield. I don't know, just players that people were like, "You're done," and they somehow rekindle some of the magic because they have it in them. They have something in them. They showed it before. So there's not saying that they can't. See, that's my only thing is, like, I never want to talk in an absolute and say, "Hey, I know for a fact that this is never going to happen. That's never happened," because I don't. Now we could see a trend and say, "Hey, it looks like this may or may not happen," but that's when I think people get into these discussions about what they know for a fact and what they don't know for a fact. Is it likely? Probably not. That he's going to rekindle that magic and be the Zeke of old. Is it impossible? I don't think so. I mean, it's not impossible. We've seen players that everybody wrote off dig down and come back numerous times.
Now, kind of pivoting to a different topic involving the Cowboys, just one last question. So you are a Cowboy fan. Last week, we didn't really get into this in the podcast. We probably should have. When Jerry Jones goes in front of the media and says that there's no urgency in signing CeeDee Lamb, dude, he has been giving Cowboy fan essentially the middle finger all summer long. It's like he doesn't get it. Doesn't understand it. Doesn't understand how bad the PR is when it comes to it all. And don't get me wrong, okay? I know there's hardball to be played. Right now, you have the fact that CeeDee Lamb wasn't making much money. Yes, it's a lot of money in every when we're all making what we make per year, right? But he wasn't making what he's worth. He goes off and sees Justin Jefferson getting a deal for $35 million.
Oh, yeah.
He sees other receivers, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. They all get the bag. Now, last year of his deal, he goes up to $17 million. Makes him the 50th highest paid receiver. This is the guy that's probably the second or third best receiver entire NFL. If you want to say that he's number one, we can make that argument. He might actually be that this year. Jerry's going to franchise tag his ass. He's going to franchise tag, and then he's going to do it again. And then CeeDee Lamb is going to be 28 years old at that point, still without a long-term deal. That's what they're going to do to him, man. And that's why he's holding out. That is why he's taken the page from the playbook of what Emmitt Smith back in the day did. And I know that Emmitt Smith won titles and championships and all that, 3-time champion for the Cowboys. I get that. But don't forget, he went toe-to-toe with Jerry Jones and said, "I'm not going on the field. I'm not sniffing this field." And if Dak Prescott does not have CeeDee Lamb and is throwing to nobody and has Zeke Elliott behind him, dude, I would not even play at that point because Dak Prescott's going to get killed. He's telling me I have a rookie left tackle, no CeeDee Lamb. My best tight end of the last 5 years is now a Houston Texan, beginning his second season with the Texans. Are you telling me that I have Zeke, washed up Zeke behind me with Rico Dowdle? Jerry Jones is acting like he has all the cards when in actuality, Dak is holding the entire deck and the jokers. The same goes with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb should not even make it onto the field. He should hold true to this whole holdout because he deserves it. He deserves it. You're wearing a shirt, baby. Stars and stripes. This is America, baby. You get paid what you're worth.
Absolutely.
And CeeDee Lamb is the second or third best receiver in the entire NFL. He's in his last year of his deal. He knows what's coming down the way. He knows the Cowboys' history of doing what? Franchising people's ass. He knows that happens all the time. So if you franchise tag him, right now makes $17 million. Next year, the franchise tag is like 21, 22, and then 23, 24. Instead of him making 35, 35, he's going to be making 21, 22. That's a lot of money. That's a $27 million difference right there. Jerry Jones knows that. And this is why free agents don't go there, man. This is why they don't take care of them. They don't. It's so bizarre the way that Jerry runs this team. Jerry had a trade in the 80s for Herschel Walker, and without that Herschel Walker trade and all the drafts, and if without Jimmy Johnson saying, you know what, we'll get the compensatory picks instead of getting the players instead, the Cowboys would not have rings from the 90s. All those VHS tapes wouldn't exist. It's so it's so funny, man. It's so funny. But let's go ahead and switch gears, man, because we had a lot of things happen over the weekend. Team USA beat Team France, not only in the men's, but also in the women's.
The women's game was incredible.
It wasn't supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be. Red, white, and blue defeated the blue, white, and red both times. Let's talk about the men's side, okay? I'm in at the Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Got to place a bet in. I bet France to win.
You got to take those odds.
I've been saying that forever. Yeah. My backup bet also lost because I had France plus 10. I was moving the line. The spread was really 16, but I moved it to plus 10 to try to get plus 240 on it. Right? Is what it is. But it's just money. That's what you do at casinos. You gamble, right? You gamble what you can lose. Watching that game, though, I tell you what, it was an all-star team of players in the NBA going up against Wemby. And Wemby balled out from the get-go of the game, knocking down threes, swatting passes, swatting shots. I was so proud of Victor Wembanyama and what he was able to do. And it wasn't one of those things where the game was too big for him. It wasn't where he had to struggle at first and find his rhythm. He came out the gates shooting the ball and making shots. This is a guy who had in the quarterfinal game, the semifinal game, not much going on from behind the arc. Little to nothing going on. Goes out there, balls out against LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Bam Adebayo, all those guys in front of him. And to see Wemby go out there and then to help bring this team back within 3 points or 3.5 to play, going to the timeout, the momentum, the Parisian crowd around him, I could not tell you how impressed I was by Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, they lost. Yeah, Steph Curry went off and had an incredible performance. I don't even like using the word epic for it because it's legendary what Steph Curry did, knocking down 3 after 3 after 3, putting Team France to bed. But Wemby, getting the silver.
Yeah.
As a Spurs fan, it was almost like a perfect world for you, right? Team USA won, but Wemby did really well.
And that's what we said on Friday. If y'all go back and look at our show from Friday, we said exactly that. We said it's a win-win situation, and we said that Wemby was due for offensive, being an offensive juggernaut because he really had it. Facts are facts, and he wasn't playing well offensively, but obviously he was doing everything he normally does on defense. But offensively, he hadn't had a big game on the Olympic stage, to be honest. But we said he's due, and when he hit that first three, I was like, "Yo!" I turned to one of my sons and I said, "Hey, he's due, right?" It was amazing. It really was, man. Like seeing Wemby, man. Embiid couldn't do anything with Wemby, man. Wemby was making Embiid look silly, like honestly. And Wemby, again, like you said, the moment wasn't too big for him. He was doing what he does. It was amazing seeing him again. It just solidifies what we as Spurs fans say. Like he's on par already with all those stars. You know what I mean? And he's a 20-year-old first-year player, right? And he loves this stuff, right? He loves it. No shame in the silver. I mean, again, they weren't supposed to beat Canada. They weren't supposed to beat Germany. So it's like, to me, winning silver is pretty amazing for them. I will say this, I want to talk about this real quick. I tweeted something that pissed a bunch of people off that day. It was the pictures of him crying, right? Where they zoomed in on him crying or whatever. And all I said was, if he wasn't our guy, we would be burying him. And so then people started getting in my mentions about, oh, like, how dare you say, like, not let Wemby have emotions, or how dare you blah, 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 blah. It wasn't about that. It's just about the way we look at things. Like, if that was Embiid, we would be clowning him and burying him. That's all I'm saying. It's just a way of looking at things. When it's your guy, you love it. It's emotion. It's whatever. When it's not your guy, you clown him or whatever. It's like Manu. If Manu wasn't our guy, we'd be like, oh, that flopping piece of, but when he's our guy, we love him. That's all. That's all I was saying. And I don't know how that's not true.
I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful for a variety of reasons. First of all, the reason why he can cry is because it happened on his home court, right? It happened in Paris, his hometown, his home country. Secondly, France wasn't even supposed to win a medal. Okay, they weren't the second best team in the Vegas odds. They weren't the third. They weren't the fourth. They weren't even the fifth. They go and they upset teams to get there. They upset Germany to get there. And it's one of those things where that was their moment.
Yeah,
that was their moment.
And I absolutely, and I agree. And like I said, it's not really about that. It's not about he's not allowed to cry or anything like that. It's just the way that people look at things. That's all I'm saying is that when it's just like. Again, some of those Wemby shoes that are coming out, I personally don't like them. I don't like the way they look. But because they're Wemby shoes, everyone's like, they're awesome, they're great. No, it was just really a way of how people look at things. That's really what it was more about. But you're right. Back to the point. It was amazing seeing him cry. I mean, hell, Brittany Griner came to tears during the national anthem, and that was amazing. Like, it's a story. So. Yeah, I'm with that. Wemby played his heart out. Like we talked about it here on Friday. I'm ready for 2028 in LA. For that French team to have a rematch with US with no Steph, no LeBron, whatnot in American soil. I'm telling you, in 2028, we got to go back to that show from Friday. And we talked about this. This is a setup for an epic rivalry between the U.S. and the French team. 4 years more senior Wemby. Oh my God, he's going to be out of this world. Richard Shea, these different folks, Kulabe, they're going to be a powerhouse in 2028, and the U.S. is going to be pivoting from the old guard of LeBron and Durant and those guys. Now you're going to have Ant, you're going to have John Morant, you're going to have different folks. I would love for our guy Castle to be part of that group. That would be amazing, right? So it's exciting. Like it's gonna be a good time, man. But yeah, awesome game. The U.S. did what they do, man. Like you said, Curry. Oh man, they summoned it from deep down. And again, Wemby keeping that team in the mix was amazing.
There's so much emotions going on with this. First of all, Serbia wet the bed fourth quarter against Team USA. USA was almost down for the count, down 13 points going into the fourth quarter. Serbia was playing better ball they were kicking USA's ass.
Mm-hmm.
And for USA to come back in epic fashion, I mean, Serbia missed open three-pointers down the stretch, which could have put the game away. So the U.S. winning the gold was not a foregone conclusion. Vegas thought so, but you don't play in Vegas. You play it on the court. Victor Wembanyama, by the way, his stat line, 11 for 19 shooting. What do you have, 27 points? He had 26.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Now, here's the thing. What I enjoyed about it, beyond Wemby's tears of just the pride he had for his country in this. Understand that they're going up against Team USA, who should win every time. Should win every time, right? If I was to see a U.S. player cry, I'd be like, okay, whatever. But it's different when you're the underdog, big time underdog. There were 16.5-point underdogs in this game. In a 40-minute game, that's a big, big thing. Mm-hmm. So that being said, Wemby balling out was great. When we saw Nicholas Batum, who's been in the NBA for a long, long time, he's his second silver medal. When you see him walk off the court, literal blood gushing from his eye, and he had a cut on his face. There is no better basketball than FIBA basketball.
Oh, yeah.
They play real man's basketball. It's kind of like a hybrid of NBA and street ball. It's not it's not the dirtiness of the bad boy Pistons. It's not that. It's not Charles Oakley. It's not Anthony Mason. It's not Bill Laimbeer. It's just big boy basketball is what it is. And we had somebody asking the question, Mario Cavazos, is France the favorite in 2028? if I could put a 4-year bet in on this one, 9-1 odds, 10-1 odds, I mean, there's something cooking in France, dude. There really is something cooking in France.
It could be. I agree. I think, like I said, the stalwarts are going to be gone from US, and the talent gap is closing. A lot of the high draft picks are early draft picks are French. Like I said, you got Recherche, you got 4 more years of Wemby. You're gonna have all. It's gonna be great, man. I think. Like I said, I think a rematch in the States, is going to be epic, and it's going to be a story that's being told. But yeah, I'll tell you, the ladies were getting physical.
Yeah,
they were letting the ladies play, and that was awesome.
Real fast before we get to the ladies, I do want to get into that. My favorite part over the weekend on Twitter were people on Spurs fans, Spurs Twitter, scouting French players going, is this guy, who has the draft rights for this guy?
Yeah. Hey, the dancing bear, man. The dancing bear, right? What's his name? What I'm talking about. The guy that dunked on LeBron.
Yeah.
That dude, yeah, man, like he has like, I guess, a year contract in Real Madrid and something like that. And it came out and everyone was like, bring him to the Spurs, man. Like, why not, man? Why not? That dude's a big, it's wild to see some of these players and you're like, these guys could play in the NBA. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, it goes back to that talent, like how hard it is to make it in the NBA when a lot of those players, you're like, I could see him on an NBA court, right? Courtney and all those guys, like they're not just, they made a dunk or they did, like they are playing out there with a high IQ, Yeah, man, it's great. So we got Drew Show, another $5 super chat. He says Fernandez is probably the only guy not hearing one shiny moment when Wemby had his feels in Paris. I bet he gets those feels November 10th. The Marine Corps birthday is November 10th. Yeah, maybe I will say this. I'm not a fan of. And again, I know people are gonna murder me because they're like, "Oh my God, men can cry. It's okay to cry." I'm not saying it's not, but I just don't like the whole like they get zoomed all the way in on all that. Like, I don't know, man. That's just me. I don't know. I'm not saying that you can't show emotion out there, and because you just like again, Wemby's the dude's an emotional player, man. The dude deserves it. Like you said, I get all that, man. Like, of course, man, any like big moment in your life, your child's born, you're something big happens, right? He was referencing November 10th, which is the Marine Corps birthday. Yeah. Thinking about like men and women who died for this country. Like, yeah, I get emotional, man. I get emotional hearing the national anthem, like, serving in my country and all that stuff. I definitely get all that. I'm just saying, it was, like I said, it was more about, if it was Chet Holmgren, we'd be burying him. That's all. All I'm saying is, if it was Chet Holmgren crying, we'd have memes up. It's all fair in love and war. All I'm saying is like I saw Rockets fans clowning Wemby about him crying. Again, we do the same thing if it was a Rockets fan. That's all. It's funny the hypocrisy when people are like, "Oh no, I would never do that to a 20-year-old player." Okay, if you wouldn't, then good on you. Like, cool, you're a better man than me. Because I tell you what, if that was Chet crying, I would have had so many memes up. I would have been clowning that dude. I mean, it would have been awesome. But that's just the way it goes. But
maybe we're homers because I thought it was a beautiful moment. But Team USA,
it is.
Team USA beating France 67-66 in the gold medal game. Asia Wilson going out for 21 points.
Oh man.
I mean, she's a ball. Best player in all women's basketball right now. She's multi-MVP award winner. The thing about it is that was also a 16-point spread.
Mm-hmm.
Team USA was supposed to beat their ass, but Gabby Williams going off for 19 points for France. This is a wake-up call for Team USA basketball on the men's and women's side. Now, here's the thing. I say this all the time, and I got to preface this. FIBA ball and NBA ball are two different things. If you brought this French men's team, even with Wemby, you put them on an NBA court with NBA rules, the U.S. Olympic team, the all-star team that they are, would annihilate them. On a WNBA court, Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, who had some big buckets, would annihilate Team France. But on a smaller court, a narrow court with a different ball, a different feel, different vibe, not a lot of places to move. It's a different game, which is why it's so exciting. It's a different game. But, man, joined by Rick Fernandez from the United States Marine Corps, retired. My man, we got to give some love to MCS General Contracting, baby. There are guys when it comes to concrete placement. Chris Lehan, the fellas, they come out here. They did my sidewalk. They did a patio extension for me. I am going to tell you this. I am very, very happy with what they did. And they did it quickly, and they did it right the first time. They didn't have to come back over here a second and third time and go, oh, we messed up. We gotta redo this. But, man, he came over here and said, dude, your slab is exposed right now. Because we had about a bunch of runoff from the water, dogs digging and stuff like that. They did a fantastic job. But I'm asking these guys, can you do pickleball court? Because that's like all the rage these days, man. You know,
it is.
Basketball courts, tennis courts, they can do. If there's concrete involved, a slab, a patio, a parking lot, MCS General Contracting uses your guys. Tell us about the pickleball guys that you know downtown.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. So of course, just like you said, Leha and his team, they're awesome over there. But yeah, man. So again, I got a friend, business acquaintance that I met out here in San Diego. He's originally from Spain. He owns a pickleball, paddleball club out here in San Diego. And his next venture was to start one in San Antonio. And then it's downtown. It's on Nolan Street. Used to be the Cruising Kitchens spot. Is like has a bunch of like artwork outside of it. It's really cool. It's a big warehouse, and they have a bunch of pickleball courts, paddleball courts. They're just finalizing small details. And they're about to open soon, and it's going to be amazing, man. They're going to have, food trucks outside, beer garden, place to go watch the games, place to watch the fights. They have pro pickleballers that are going to be teaching lessons, and it's kind of like chicken and pickle. But I think, the location being downtown is going to be, key for a lot of different people. But it's awesome, man. It's called the King of Paddle. The King of Paddle, man. They're going to open up soon. Steph is involved doing a lot of their videography and social media. Yeah, man, it's going to be awesome, man. So whenever they do have that opening, I'll definitely put the word out and get people over there, because it's going to be a good time, man.
Hand over fist asking, when is pickleball going to be an Olympic sport?
It's a good question. Very good question.
It's coming.
Very
Hey,
good question.
If breakdancing is a thing, Tim Gonzalez said Mike was getting cooked on Twitter over the weekend. Wasn't on Twitter over the weekend. I was busy. I was out and about. Hey, I got some breaking news. I want to thank Mario Cavazos for reaching out to us just 3 minutes ago. The ESPN announced its first preseason AP poll. So it's not the ESPN poll, the Associated Press poll, the one that we all care about.
Yep.
Football polls out. Number 1, Georgia. Makes sense. Number 2, Ohio State. 3, Oregon. Your Texas Longhorns. Number 4, Bama at 5 with no Nick Saban. Ole Miss at 6. Notre Dame at 7. Notre Dame is always in the top 10, and they're never a top 10 program. That's just by name. It's by law. They have to be in the top 10 to start the season. And if they go 1-3, they're somehow 24. Program. Number 8, Penn State. Number 9, Michigan. Texas plays Michigan early in the season. And at number 10, Florida State. No LSU on there, baby. Where's LSU at, baby?
Man, kind of. Hey, like you said it earlier, this is my favorite time of the year, man, when everything starts coming together, right? The fall, right? Like baseball's about to end, and you got the World Series going. You're going to have college starting, NFL starting, right? NBA in October. Like this is the greatest time to be a sports fan, because everything just kind of merges together, right? Like, so yeah, man, it's a great time to be a fan. But hey, I mean, can't argue with those rankings, I'm looking for a big year from Texas this year, man. It's they like that Michigan game is going to be huge, like you said, very early. It could sway a lot of things. Yeah,
they win.
That's the thing about college.
They go over there and they win right away. They're back. They're number 1. They vault up to number 1. If you go on the road and do that, so AP again, I made this announcement 6 minutes ago. Texas at number 4. I have the rest of the list here. Missouri's 11. Utah is 12. LSU 13, Clemson 14, Tennessee 15, OU at 16, Oklahoma State at 17, K-State 18, Miami 19, your Texas A&M Aggies at 20. By the way, tickets for that game against the Longhorns and Aggies, cheapest seats, $800 right now on StubHub. 21, Arizona. 22,
hey, that's the return.
23, USC. 24, NC State, and 25, Iowa. Look at this. Guess who got 6 votes? Guess who got 6 votes?
Who's that?
Your UTSA
UTSA?
Roadrunners.
Yeah.
UTSA Roadrunners. So let's see. They got Louisville, Virginia Tech, Boise State, SMU, Iowa State, Liberty, Washington, West Virginia, Memphis, Nebraska, Wisconsin, UTSA. So UTSA ranked 37, baby. The problem with UTSA, the problem is they played Kennesaw State first game. I believe it's the last weekend of August. Kennesaw State considered to be the second worst program in all of college football. So already a blow to the strength of schedule right there, man. But they got a wimpy team to start off the season. Joined by Rick Fernandez, United States Marine Corps. Dude, I appreciate it, brother. You're a big part of the Alamo City Podcast Network. Today, we picked up subscriber 1,040, just like the IRS. It's all about the 1040s, baby. We're at 1,040. And again, we are the only podcast going Monday through Friday talking sports now that In the Building is moving to the evenings.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. Steph and I, man, we're so grateful for you guys, getting on a platform to talk and do this thing and interact with the listeners and stuff like that. It's awesome, man. And you and Joe, you guys do amazing stuff. And then again, having all the listeners, man, it's great. Midtown Texas says, when's the party? And I know you and Joe are cooking something.
We need to do that.
You and Joe are cooking something, and you want to do it right. So that's the thing. Like, having those 1,000 was great, and just keep going forward. But doing a party the right way with everybody, it's hard. It's hard to get a lot of people together and all that. But organizing it is definitely key. But
and Sith is also part of our team over here. This is the People's Podcast Network. Sith says your boy is on his way to Monday Night Raw in Austin. He's been doing those Twitter streams with Brandon Big Papi Medina. Yeah, man. Yeah, they love that. And they do good. Yeah, they love that stuff. They're passionate about it. They're knowledgeable too. They know what they're talking about. Yeah, man, they're it's a good thing, man. You branch off, man. You have, because everybody has, some people like wrestling, some people like boxing, some people like football, basketball, some people like all of it. Some people like the pop culture stuff, right? So that's what's cool about this network is it's really something for everybody. I don't think there's like no stone unturned where somebody can say somewhere within our network of folks, whether it's through those two or other folks, something that you're interested in is being talked about. This is special. What we're doing now is special because it's the People's Podcast. We are generated by the content comes from from us, but also comes from the people who are on our stream. D'Lo right now is saying that he thought it was Tony Stark. He got a little bit startled with his sunglasses. Don't forget also Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs is a big part of what we do here. Locked On Spurs with now 5,000 subscribers. He has an article on kens5.com. You can also link to it at Jeff G Spurs Zone on Twitter and on Threads. Also subscribe on Spotify and on YouTube to Locked On Spurs. Spurs fans apparently dogpiling a Fox Sports analyst for a proposed Spurs-Lakers-Warriors trade. I don't know if you saw this.
I saw that, yeah.
I saw this over the weekend. And apparently Nick Wright is trying to be GM of the Spurs here. Nick Wright, who apparently is the heir apparent for Skip Bayless.
Yeah,
and a lot of people hate Nick Wright. A lot of people hate Nick Wright. Can I tell you something without pissing you off or pissing off the listeners of our stream right now? I like Nick Wright a lot. I think he's smart, okay? Doesn't mean that everything he says is correct. I just think he's smart. Here's the trade proposal that he says that the Spurs could somehow end up with old men, old legends, Steph Curry and LeBron James. A 41-year-old LeBron James, and I believe Steph is 35. Sending to the Lakers, Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes, the Spurs' 27 first-round draft pick, Minnesota's 2031 first-round draft pick, which we got for the number 8 pick this year. Then sending the Warriors, Devin Vassell, Zach Collins, Sidi Sissoko, Atlanta's first-round draft pick in 2027, and Dallas's first-round draft pick in 2030. So the Spurs, for the most part, would keep their picks and would keep Atlanta's 2025. But saying that the Spurs should have, assemble the Avengers, if you will, because they would have a lineup there of Chris Paul, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Victor Wembanyama, and Jeremy Sohan. Okay, first of all, I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. It would be an Avengers team. I mean, watching Sohan play with Steph Curry, LeBron James, Victor Wembanyama, and CP3, dude, Jeremy Sohan would be a kid in a candy shop, being able to do all the little things. A 2-year run at that, giving up all that draft capital, giving up Keldon, Vassell, Zach Collins, and all those guys. I know it's fantasy land, but if that ever happened, I'd be for it. I'd be for it.
You know, I mean, hey, look, as long as we still have Bouye, we're good. As long as you don't include Bouye in that trade, bro, we're good. No, you know, okay, I would be down, and I would be down. I think people are like, no way, you know. I think that's silly because literally that team wins a championship next year.
I know.
Let's be honest. They probably win like 2 and before, and then, you know, LeBron's old or whatever. But this is why I don't like it. Nick Wright is, like you said, he's a smart dude. He's a professional. You're on TV. I've seen clowns on Twitter say things like that. You know what I mean? Like say those kind of crazy, you know, trade scenarios. That's all. My issue with it is like, man, if I want to see a crazy trade thing, I could go on Twitter and see that all day long, every day. You know what I mean? Like, it's a, you know, why are these guys talking about it on a national talk show? I know it's just for fun and they're talking fantasy, but that's what I mean. It's like not gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. So that's just me. You know,
here's why I think that there's like a little bit. I'm not gonna say that there is any credibility to it.
Yeah,
but it's the idea that that Wemby needs somebody to play with, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that Wemby is good enough to win now. And you know, what does LeBron do? LeBron chases championships.
Yeah.
That is what he does for a living. So because of that, LeBron playing with Wemby for a year and CP3, dude, he did that in Miami with Bosh and Wade, right?
Yeah.
So he chases rings. And if you were to tell LeBron, dude, LeBron, we'll match up with Wemby, it might be the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like a literal passing of the torch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steph Curry, with the number of championships that he has, now with that gold medal performance, is probably vaulted into a top 10 player of all time. Got to kick somebody out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I honestly, I agree with you about LeBron, and he respects Pop. I think that there's been that's well documented. That's why I was thinking there's an outside shot that they go after Bronny with the second round or something. I remember during those trades or during the draft, I remember thinking like, what if they just use one of those second rounders and go after Bronny? That would be wild, right? And no, in the idea that LeBron would come. And again, LeBron respects Pop. I don't think he'd go anywhere else other than something like that, you know. And again, him playing with Wemby, again, man. Every person's, you know, I already see comments in there about, oh, built not bought, or oh, it's the championships aren't going to mean as much. And I don't know, man. Again, that's all people's personal preferences. Like, man, winning a championship is winning a championship. I get it, because we did the same thing. We talked about the Bill versus bought whenever it was the Heat against the Spurs, and you know, those 13 to 14 back to back. I'll tell you what, man, those back in those days, I thought it was going to be like a Celtics Lakers, like every year it was going to be Spurs and Heat, man, right? Because it looked like that from 13, 14, and you know, obviously, but you know, I get all that, and it's like, oh, you know, we want, you know, again, all I'm saying is those. Like you said, Steph is still Steph. I mean, the dude is killing it. LeBron, yeah, he's older, but he's LeBron. Those two coming would literally, they'd win a championship like next year and probably the year after. Again, yeah, you know, people are going to go into a rabbit hole about, oh, well, we're going to mortgage our future, and that's why it's fantasy, because it's you know. But I don't know if that was presented, I'd be down. I'm just saying I would be down because I think they would win championships immediately. You know, but again, like you said, the idea that Wemby needs stars like that to win. I mean, I don't think that's necessary. I mean, I don't think that's true. It's just how long is this going to take kind of thing, right?
Right.
What are we talking about here, right? So we're a lot of Spurs fans will talk out of one side of their mouth like, no, we want to win now, but then they will say, well, no, but I don't want a trade like that for LeBron and Curry. You know what I mean? Like, something. Yeah, like I mean, I would love Durant. I mean, I would love Durant to end his season with San Antonio. That'd be awesome. But again, man, that's why it's fun, I guess, because we can all argue on Twitter about it. But
yeah, Drew Show coming out with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much for the support, Drew. Saying Nick Wright looks like a dime store sports Howard Stern. I like him. I like him. Some of his takes are just so good. This one out of left field, but I do like it. Real fast. Kids are going to go back to school in about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I was at Walmart the other day getting my kids some school supplies. My eyelid was twitching. It was twitching because it's just so stressful seeing all those people and you're looking for all these items. And I'm telling my daughter, you're in 7th grade. Why do we need crayons? Like, why do we need crayons? But I was thinking about it. Summer's kind of come into a close, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember back in the day, it was all about the summer songs, man. Like when I think of summer, I think of certain songs from back in the day. I remember, and I don't know if you have a song that comes to mind that reminds you of summer, but there's 2 songs that remind me of my youth. 1999, and we're going to South Padre Island with my friends, road trip. We stayed at Padre South Resort, and I remember it was all about Lenny Kravitz. It was like, Fly, it was about songs like that. I hear certain songs, Fly Away by Lenny Kravitz. I think of like Len, Steal My Sunshine. I think of Sugar Ray for some reason. When you think of summer, what summer songs are you thinking of?
Well, our boy Sif hit it on the head. Summer Nights, Lil Rob. That's some little like Chicano rap back in the day.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Summertime is always a classic.
Will Smith?
Well, yeah, Will Smith, DJ Jazzy, right? Yep.
Yeah.
That one to me, I hear that one. That one to me is summer. When I think summertime, man, that one gets it from me. But yeah, man, we were talking about Summer Jam the last time we were on here, and we were talking about those summer nights, and yeah, man, you're right though. There are songs that just brings you back. That's the beauty of music, man. Is it takes you back to a place wherever you were, whether it's your youth, whether it's a special moment in your time. I was just gonna say that I saw the alert that they were showing the opening night. Shams just put out something about the opening night schedule.
Oh, really?
Mario Cavazos just put it up there. Yeah, man, you're right though, man. Summer's coming to an end. Yeah, my kids are grown. I mean, my youngest is gonna go to be a junior this year. So it's like, hey, dog, you're on your own, bro. Like, I'll Cash App you, I'll Venmo you, whatever. And you're good. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, when they get older, they don't need as much stuff. But yeah, those days, I remember that, man. Going to the getting like tissue boxes and crayons, like you said, stuff that like I think the teacher just hoarded or something, for later. But I don't know.
Why do we need tissues? Why does everybody need tissues?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at BuzzFeed's top summer songs of 2004. 20-year-old songs that turned 20 this past summer. Yeah. Nina Sky's Move Your Body. Christina Milian, Dip It Low. That's 20 years old, man. Wow. Kevin Lytle, Turn Me On, the remix. Sierra's Goodies.
Man, that's a good one.
Beyonce's Naughty Girl, also 20 years old this summer. Los Lonely Boys, Heaven.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah. I remember that one, man. Los Lonely Boys.
Ashley Simpson, Pieces of Me. Man, remember when she was caught lip syncing at the Saturday Night Live? Number 3, Hoobastank The Reason. Don't consider that a summer song. Great song. Don't remember that. Number 2, Alicia Keys, If I Ain't Got You. And number 1, the biggest song 20 years ago for the summer was Usher, Burn.
Wow, man. Time flies, man.
Classic song.
Time flies, man. Yeah.
Classic song. By the way, guess who else sponsors this show? I sponsor this show. Okay. So What do I do for a living? I'm a financial guy. I talk money. I talk investments. I talk insurances. So when I get off this, guess what I do? I go manage about $30 million worth of assets, right? If you want to be a client of mine, you have an old retirement account, you want to start a retirement account, you want to do a college savings account, need life insurance, need disability, whatever the case may be, small business owner, all that stuff. I manage $14 million in investments and $16 million in insurance assets. Been doing this for 19 years. Give me a call, 210-508-0369. Again, 210-508-0369. That's my cell number, dude. I've had that number since I was 19, dude. Since the 90s. Since I gave up the purple beeper that I had. Dude, I had a plum beeper. People make fun of me about that because everyone had the black one.
Mm-hmm.
But
that color, you had those color, you had the color ones.
It was like a manly purple. It was like Baltimore Ravens purple. It wasn't like Barney purple.
Yeah, no, I just had the standard black drug dealer pager. You know what I mean? Just the OG standard black. You know.
the remember, call me back 911. Call me back 911.
Yep. Call me 911. Yeah. You had the codes, man.
The booty call was another number.
Oh man, yeah. And then this is crazy. Like this is how old we are. Like then we'd have to go to a payphone, dog.
Yeah.
Right? And make that call or whatever. Like, that's insane, man. Like, you know, my sons see a payphone, man, and they're like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, that is like, you might as well be showing ancient ruins. You know what I'm saying? Of you know, in Rome or Athens or something. Like, it is wild to think that, you know, how we have information and technology right at our fingertips nowadays. And, you know, I'm sounding old, man, but it's like back then it was like, oh, I got a phone call from my pager. I got to put a quarter into the pay phone and make this phone call, you know. But, you know, gas was like $1, you know what I mean? And all that. So things were you know, there was some upsides, you know, gas was way cheaper, right? You know, I remember I used to like cruise around military. Now I'm thinking about it like, man, I would just be wasting gas. Like if I drove up and down, you know what I'm saying? Like if cruise, I don't know if cruising military is still a thing. But if I was cruising around right now, I'd be thinking to myself, like, I'm just literally wasting gas. You know what I'm saying? Back then, it didn't cross my mind.
Dude, that's so funny, man, because I used to you know, go cruising. You know, you mentioned going cruising. I used to do that all the time, man. I had so much fun doing that. I had so much fun. By the way, I was testing something right now. Did I go off screen, or was I always on the screen? Just right now.
No, you're on.
Okay, good. I'm testing a system here. So yeah, you mentioned dollar gas and just cruising the town. That was back in the day when Taco Cabana was good. Mm-hmm. And remember going to Taco Cabana when that was actually pretty good food?
Oh yeah.
Go to high school football game. Go do that. Then you're in college time. You know, you go to all the different bars and clubs, whether it be the Atrium or Park Place or, you know, Planeta. If you wanted the hot Mexican national chicks, dude, you go over there, right? But we're going to be wrapping up the show, not necessarily just yet, but we're going to let go of Rick right now because we're going to be doing a segment here when it comes to high school football. High school football, big deal. We have somebody that is going to be one of our correspondents talking about high school football. And I'm going on. He goes by B. Damone, and he has a page called Along the Wire on Twitter. What I'm going to do is we're going to show what he has in store for us. And
Hi, I'm Nicole Hawk.
Give me one.
Sandy Hook Promise. I know this is hard to hear, but it's.
So we're gonna share this with you guys and kind of give you an idea of what kind of what we're bringing to this, because high school football, dude, you know this, it's huge in Texas. It's huge in San Antonio. Doesn't matter if it's 6A, 5A, 4A, 3A. We all love high school football, and there's something about that. There's something about the crisp air, but having the dude. I go to Smithson Valley games every once in a while because I have friends that are out there. Dude, the barbecue that they have going on there. You go to Harlandale, the barbecue, the tailgating they have over there. You go to these other stadiums like the Chili Bowl. You go, you know, I just love being out there. I love high school football. Love high school basketball as well. I'm going to be officiating. Dude, training starts in 3 weeks for high school basketball officiating. Anybody want to be official like me, with me? Dude, take $150 a night just exercising. We get yelled at. We're getting paid to exercise, right? So anyway, we're going to show one of our new correspondents who's going to be joining us over the fall because we're expanding, okay? We do sports, we do pop culture, we do nostalgia. We got Fernandez, we got pickleball. We've got Sith and Brandon doing wrestling. We also have what's going on is a matter of fantasy football, which is going to get going. The fantasy gods, dude. The things are looking up now. Over 1,000 subscribers. We got to go get those sponsors. Love it all, dude. Love it all, man. Love it all. Midtown saying Club Tsunami. God, man, I'll never be on. Drew Show saying SA is so ghetto. Now they're shooting each other people on commerce and military. Yeah, it's it, baby. Sam Slade said, Mike, you got to come out to the Central Catholic tailgate sometime this year.
Okay.
Damn straight. I'll make it happen. Fernandez, dude, thank you for being on.
Of course, man.
I know it was last minute, but you helped me out because doing the shows by myself, no Joe, for the next couple of weeks, it's rough, man. It's rough.
Yeah.
It makes a lot better of a conversation, more free flowing. You mean so much to us, dude. Thank you so much. Let me know when you're back in town so we can hang out.
Man, for sure.
We're gonna be talking some high school football right now. So if you want to stick around, the show's gonna continue with some high school football talk.
For sure, bro. I appreciate
it, my man.
Appreciate you, brother. Take care. Thanks all the listeners.
Let's see if I can figure out this technology. Let's see if I can figure it out. There it is. Let's make it happen.
So it's school time again, kicking off the football season for this class of 2025. I got my brain food, my orange, got water, got my pencil, got my pen, got everything needed getting back to school, right? Also,
Well, we tried. Tried to make it happen. Don't know if you guys can still hear me. What's going on, everybody? Dude, I tell you what, man. I enjoyed Lake Charles this weekend. This is why I never step away. I got a UPS at my door, man, so I stepped away for a minute, but I apologize for that. I thought it was going to be a 13-minute video. It just kept spinning and spinning and spinning. Dude, over the weekend, man, oh my God. I had a great time over in okay, first of all, the technical difficulties, Mike. I have good Wi-Fi. I have no idea what happened, dude. I have no idea. We're going to try it again tomorrow. Tony and Alice asking who's the number one varsity boys team in NISD. I'll assume Brennan. They usually have a pretty good team. But you guys, I was playing this Snoop Dogg slot machine in Lake Charles over the weekend. It was badass, dude. Hearing Snoop's voice on a slot machine was amazing. Got startled at the end. Somebody left a present, I guess you can say. I'm leaving the room. I'm looking for a Spurs shirt that I had lost. I couldn't find it. I was looking for it because I wanted to wear it to go home. And there was something cochino that was underneath the bed that was left behind that the people who were there, like, I don't know, the days before, the week before, left behind. Gross. Absolutely gross. I really don't want to get into it, but I've never experienced anything like that. But anyway, people were talking earlier about people were talking earlier about SAFC and some sort of issue going out with security over there. I need to get into that. So for those of you who are really big into SAFC and know what's going on, I know that right now they're having some issues when it comes to what to do with the diehards that are behind the goals. I know there's issues when it comes to that. So we'll get to the bottom of that. Everyone have a fantastic day. Drew Show saying Snoop has licensed himself to a slot machine. Of course, why not? Dude, it was badass. It was the most badass slot machine I've ever been to, dude. That was a great one. But anyway, everyone have a fantastic day. Tomorrow, we're going to have Jack Thompson on. Jack and I used to spar on San Antonio Sports Star pretty frequently. He's a good guy. Did Locked On Spurs with him last week with Jeff Garcia. Again, don't forget to subscribe to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. And again, the show is right now in a weird situation because Joe is in training right now. He won't be back. We won't be back in the studio for another 2 weeks. I'm going to try to play that video one last time. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we're just going to end the show. Hopefully it does. But you know what? Screw it. Just end the show. Everyone have a fantastic day. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Drew, thank you so much for the super chats, man. Appreciate it tremendously. Y'all take care.